Get comfortable, because it's transfer talk. My God, it feels like it's been forever since I've done this. This is like old school, less than 5,000 subscribers Rabona TV stuff from a year or two ago. So of course, people, you gotta remember these are just rumors. These are mostly just speculation, so take them for what they are, though I will do my best to highlight the ones that are from trusted sources, quotes from players themselves, etc., okay? Also, thanks to everyone on Twitter who threw some requests my way. So many requests. But don't worry, we'll do more Transfer Talk videos throughout the summer, so I'll be able to touch on most players eventually. I prioritize those with the most info or the more reliable sources, so let's go. Okay, here's one of the big ones, as Bruno Fernandes has had a great season, won the Cup double with Sporting, won the Nations League with Portugal, and all the while he scored a ton of goals, breaking Frank Lampard's record for the most goals scored by a midfielder. By the way, when I mentioned that in a previous video, some dude freaked out thinking I was comparing Bruno to Lampard or insinuating that he's a better player than Lampard. No, dude. Saying someone broke a record isn't saying they're better than someone else. Just relax. So anyways, Bruno has been linked with many teams, including United, City, though City seems to have cooled off a little bit, and with the potential of Eriksen leaving Spurs, he's also been linked there as well. But after Portugal's Nations League victory, he spoke to Sport Mediaset about the potential of a return to Italy. As you may or may not know, he actually went to Novara when he was 17-18, then spent a few seasons with Udinese and finally Sampdoria before his return to Portugal via Sporting. He seemed to show some keen interest in a return to Italy, namely with Inter Milan, as after the final he said, quote, "At the moment, I don't know anything about my future. I'll have the next few days to work out how much of what's been reported is real. I'm very happy because I'm at a great club and I'm not looking to leave. But if I receive an offer to join a club I can't turn down, I'll discuss it with Sporting. I still watch a lot of Serie A. I follow Inter and all the other teams. I have no idea if their interest for me is real or not. Inter have a great coach who did brilliantly with Juventus and Italy. Seeing my name linked to them is satisfying." End quote. So there's a concrete interest there, providing great compliment to the club and coach. I personally think that he would likely succeed anywhere due to his technical ability, having watched what he did in Portugal quite closely and what he did to Benfica on a couple of occasions, but I'm not sure that the physicality of the Premier League would suit him as much, and with the Serie A being a familiar competition to him, that could be the difference maker in this case. Now, journalist Pietro Balzano Porta, who's considered a tier 1 source for transfer news in terms of reliability, did indeed say that an agreement is extremely close between United and Sporting for Bruno's transfer, just working out the final details, so ultimately it'll come down to him, so we'll see. It looks like Inter and United are front runners, if indeed Inter's interest is legit. But there's also the fact that João Mario, he needs a home, as he hasn't been himself for years now, and Sporting have shown an interest in bringing him home. Maybe a João Mario plus cash deal could be on the cards. I could see it. Sporting took Nani back, why not João Mario? And given that they play in similar-ish, not the exact same, but similar positions, it could be a mutually beneficial option for the two clubs. Now, Kylian Mbappé has been linked with Real Madrid since he was born, basically, and it seemed as if it would be the likely destination for him when it was all but confirmed that he would be leaving AS Monaco a few years ago. I mean, French hero Zidane was the coach. He would have had one final season with his hero Cristiano Ronaldo. The interest was there from Real Madrid. According to Football Leaks, Real had an agreement with Monaco of 180 million euros plus add-ons, but with Ronaldo and Benzema and Bale all ahead of him in the pecking order, he opted for PSG instead. In hindsight, he probably would have forced his way into the starting 11 at Real fairly quickly, but that's not the point here. The point is, Mbappé has recently made it known that he wants more responsibility at PSG. He wants to be the guy, but there's obviously the tripping block of Neymar. Despite Mbappé being arguably more important to PSG in the last 2 seasons, partially due to Neymar's injuries, he goes missing from February on, and partially due to Mbappe's performances, Neymar is still sort of ranked above him as far as club culture goes, and of course, salary. Mbappé allegedly wants to make the same as Neymar, and even opened up the conversation to a potential move away from PSG when he said he wants more responsibility, whether that's at PSG or with a, quote, new project. So now, with the return of Zidane to Real Madrid and the return of a Florentino Perez that's down to spend some cash, ABC in Spain are saying that Mbappé wants to leave PSG for Real Madrid to play next to Eden Hazard in the attack. For me, you know how there's some players that just seem destined to play at a certain club, namely Madrid in this case. Before it was, Cristiano Ronaldo, his transfer saga, and then Eden Hazard, which was finally become a reality. And now Mbappé has been linked with them for a few seasons now. It feels like this will happen, at least eventually. Of course, Mbappé could be saying these things just to strong arm a new contract with PSG to get the same wages or more than Neymar, but apparently Nasser Al-Khelaifi is refusing to give him the raise he wants. So now Mbappé wants to leave, and whether it's this summer or the next, Mbappé will most likely be a Real Madrid player in the near future. Although it does seem like a tough one for Real to pull off, what with the spending they have already done on the likes of Hazard, Rodrigo, Militão, and Luka Jovic, and the fact that it's believed Mbappé would cost 200 million plus euros. But I mean, who knows? Transfers don't really make sense anymore. And Real would have to get rid of players like Bale and Asensio maybe, Vasquez. Okay everyone, João Felix. Now, to be honest, I don't think any Benfica fan wants to see him leave, but I think more and more of us are starting to accept that he's going to leave, and we're more okay with it. The ideal scenario that I've been calling for ages now would be that whoever buys him loans him back to us for a further year so he can develop more and get more playing time, which is what he needs more than anything in this moment. And I mean, he's been linked to tons of clubs: Barcelona, Real, Atletico, United, City, Juventus, Inter. Tons of rumors, tons of speculation, tons of options seemingly for him. However, at a General Assembly recently, Benfica president Mr. LFV said that it's looking less and less likely that Benfica will be able to hold on to João, as there are a few clubs that look like they're ready to trigger his 120 million euro release clause. He also said that he wants to keep him, and that Benfica doesn't need to sell him to make money. We're good on that for now, but apparently the player and his family want him to cash in on some of the contracts he's being offered. The main one that's being talked about now is Manchester City. They seem like the front runners, as it's rumored that they'll offer him a contract that would pay 6 million euros per year, 5 years, 30 million total. That's the most prominent rumor right now. And look, if he goes, he goes. I just hope that Benfica reinvests that money into better contracts for players like Ruben Dias and Rafa, as well as bringing in a decent right back and potentially a left back should Grimaldo leave as well. Felix would probably have very few opportunities at City currently. I mean, look at Sané and how much he was a bench boy for much of the season. So if he does go there, I hope they loan him back. But it seems like it's a foregone conclusion that he will leave, and it's just a question of where to. I'd like to see him play under Guardiola eventually. I think that'd be great for him. Look at what Guardiola did for Bernardo Silva. All right, let's try to get through some a little bit faster here. Those were the features of this episode. Gio Lo Celso. What a season he had with Real Betis, and he's quickly become one of the most sought-after central midfielders because of it. Now, according to Sky Sports News, I think it was, they have been told by a source, my man A Source certainly tells people about a lot of rumors. Gio Lo Celso wants to move to Tottenham to link up with Mauricio Pochettino, but Real Betis will only let him go for £70 million or 79 million euros. By the way, his release clause is apparently set at 100 million euros. If they get him for anywhere near their asking price, then that will be a massive profit that they have turned around on a player who they loaned from PSG and then made the loan permanent for just 22 million euros. Pretty piss poor planning from PSG, considering their midfield could use some help, as evidenced by their failures in the Champions League and their terrible finish to the season. And now they're being linked with more attackers. It's like they don't even understand what kind of players they need for their club. But anyways, Lo Celso scored 16 goals and provided 5 assists across all competitions last season and was easily their best player. So again, with the rumored departure of Christian Eriksen, Tottenham will certainly be in the market for a midfielder. The only question being, how much is Daniel Levy willing to cough up? De Ligt, here's another dude that's been linked with the entire world of football, so it seems almost 100% confirmed that he'll be leaving Ajax, with the only question, like with João Felix, being where he will end up going. Apparently Barcelona has reignited their interest in signing him, and perhaps the old Ajax-Barcelona Dutch connection will be enough to swing him towards playing for Barcelona. Not to mention the fact that his bro De Jong is already there, and you'd maybe even favor him ahead of both Umtiti and Lenglet to start next to Piqué. But another journalist from Mundo Deportivo, not the most trusted source, says that De Ligt is nervous about his playing time at Barcelona and the economics behind the move. I don't know how much I believe that, But he is also linked to PSG, United, and hey, even Ronaldo apparently said to him that he should come to Juventus after the Nations League final, so we'll see what happens there. With all things considered, I personally still lean towards a move to Barcelona, maybe a move to Bayern. I don't know. All I know is that Simon Peach spoke to him after the game, and all De Ligt had to say was that he's going on vacation and will think about it all then. But yeah, for me, I'm still leaning towards Barcelona for him. And finally, like I said, we'll get to other rumors in the future as more news comes out. But speaking of Barcelona, Griezmann, all the rumors in the world pointing towards him joining Barcelona. There's been some bumps along the way, but we might be closer to a decision from him. First, there was the rumor that the Barcelona dressing room had apparently vetoed the signing of Griezmann, which is a pretty sick burn on the dude. As apparently Messi would favor Neymar returning to Barcelona instead. I don't know if I believe this stuff, to be honest with you. As much as I think that Griezmann is a bit of a clown, he still has quality and would love nothing more than to play alongside his countryman Luis Suarez. Remember that drama? That was funny. But anyways, Fernando Polo from Mundo Deportivo, who is a tier 1 journalist, baby, very respected source, said last week that Griezmann will indeed be joining FC Barcelona as soon as his release clause drops down to just 120 million euros on July 1st of 2019, something that was agreed upon in his contract. As well, Nabil Gillette, who is another tier 1 journalist, we're dealing with the big boys here, claimed just 3 days ago that Griezmann will be heading to Barcelona despite all of the rumors about, the locker room vetoing him and the links with PSG. So I think it's odds on that he will end up at Barcelona sometime in July once his release clause drops, and Griezmann himself said he knows where he is going and that he asked for patience. But wait, now there's a big rumor saying he's going to join PSG? Oh my god. What a waste of a signing that would be for them, unless they get rid of one of Cavani, Mbappé, or Neymar. I personally am still leaning towards him joining Barcelona, but I guess we'll see. Maybe he'll make another documentary about it for us and cause all of this hype to just announce that he'll be staying at Atletico Madrid once again. Okay guys, this is the warm-up transfer talk, but it was fun to try to sift through the crap and see if we can find anything legit. What do you guys think of these rumors? Where do you see guys like Bruno and Griezmann ending up? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you want more transfer talk and international football news over the summer. And don't forget to hashtag it and brofist it, bros. Later.